All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning and hope you had a great day yesterday. So happy Friday. And good morning, Jared. Welcome to the pre-market show.
Hey, good morning, Carlos.
All right. So Jared's joining us for the first time in this pre-market show. So we're going to go through, as usual, our normal stuff, guys. Norm is off today, so Jared will be covering. We'll go over through our market pulse, kind of get an idea of what the SPY is doing. We'll look into our gappers list, see what's going on there. I already see we have a nice gapping down list. Again, usual suspects, airlines, cruise lines, all these travel companies a little bit down today. And we got some stuff in the green, which will be interesting to see what we can find there. So for the most part, guys, after that, we'll get into some levels. Then we'll look at what Jared's watching for this morning, how he prepares for the market open, his first time doing the pre-market show. And then we'll go over some of the levels we have here in our thing. So, all right, so Jared's actually going to try to refresh the room. He's having a little mic issues there. So in the meantime, let's do this, guys. Let's go right into our gappers list. Let's start with what's up this morning, right? So let's see what's happening there. ADAP. While Jared comes back into the room. So ADAP this morning, they are ripping, guys, 116%. Oh my God, this is insane. So it is not a low flow stock, 665 million shares flow. So it's pretty decent when it comes to that actual size. We need to check what's going on there. So I'm not sure. I'm not aware of what's the news on this one. Obviously, 2 million shares is quite a bit. It's going from $5 trading within this range. Now sitting at around 10.20. So definitely on our list, guys. One that we want to watch this morning. This is very, very active. I'm just going to throw it right on here. So that is ADAP. All right, next we have ZS. So ZS this morning. So Philip, ADAP is a COVID type company. Thank you for that information. So again, just probably some news on some phase 1, phase 2 trials, whatever test they're up to. Obviously has gone very well here with some incredible pop and volume. Next we have, as we mentioned, we have ZS. All right, so ZS also gapping up pretty nice, 20%, 174,000 shares traded. This one this morning been consolidating on the daily between this area here for the most part. Now we're getting a nice little pop. Also 99 million shares flow, so it's not a low flow stock. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. For the most part right now, pre-market is starting to get going. This company overall, this stock overall, does not trade a lot of volume, and you can notice that based on the daily chart. You can see several things on here don't look all that great, but you can see at the bottom the volume overall is very light. So we'll keep an eye on it, guys. Not sure if it's one that we're going to keep, but let's take a look at it and see what's happening there. All right, here we have ALT. So ALT this morning, this one's the gappers list gapping up 18%, 113. Pre-market though, guys, doesn't look pretty at all. Here's your pre-market start. This was after hours yesterday. Obviously, it has a nice pop here, but overall, pre-market is not doing much for the most part, even with this type of volume. So we're gonna probably put this down as a possible. Not sure what's the news behind it. Right, there are also a 15.3 million shares flow, so a little bit lighter in that area. So ALT, I'm going to throw this down here, guys, and just we'll keep an eye on it. But for the most part right now, it's not looking all that great. Next we have is BIG, BIG. All right, BIG, they are up 12%, 148,000 shares traded at the moment. They've been having a nice little run over the last couple of days. Another ticker doesn't move all that much, 39 million shares float. For the most part, trading under 5 million shares today could be the difference maker with that, up 12%, 148. But again, this volume is really not doing all that much right now. So we'll throw BIG down here for now. Next to ALT, just in case it can get any better. Not looking great at the moment. All right, next we have TRIL. So TRIL, this one is pre-market is also very crappy for the most part. So I'm not liking what I'm seeing here right now, guys. 200,000 shares traded, but not much happening. I'm going to skip on this one for now. If you guys see anything great, any news on it, throw it back out to me. But for the most part, I'm just going to put this one to the side at the moment. DVAX today also gapping up 9.5. 125,000 shares traded. This is one we have watched in the past. It was very explosive in the last couple of days here. It kind of been giving it pretty much all back and heading back to that area where it was before, where it have found some clear resistance, right? So right down to this between this $5 mark or so, bouncing off of that the last 2 days. So pre-market also not all that exciting. Could be explosive because we've seen what this thing can do. And it is not a low flow stock. It is a lower price, but it is not a low flow, sitting at a flow of 76 million. So DVAX will have that on there as well. Next, what do we have on here? Let's head down over to AZN. We'll do all the green this morning because obviously they're kind of doing their own thing a bit here. But so far, I haven't seen anything that looks all that great when it comes to actual pre-market action. So here is AZN for the most part right now. They are gapping up 3.7, 113,000 shares traded for the most part. Just the action is a little bit all over the place. Again, I'm not liking much in the green this morning. We'll throw this one on here as well. Gold we don't look at. RCUS is one that we have paid attention quite a bit in the past. Has been very active for the most part today. They have a decent pre-market activity, probably the best we've seen so far this morning on the green side. You can see here building up some pretty nice candles. And this one obviously has had some pretty nice run-ups in the last couple of weeks. So today over the last couple of days, 2-3 days, they've been bouncing off this 26.25, which is a great area of support here. And now we can see if this thing wants to go higher and create a new pre-market high. For the most part, we have some highs and lows in here that could be pretty decent. So I like this one. Former runner, it is not a low flow. I'm going to add it over here to the top of our list. And we can take a look at that. One that has been really fun to watch, even if you didn't trade it, this stock has been pretty great to just look at, is mRNA. So today they're pretty much up 2.6, 117,000 shares traded for the most part. We're sitting at this level we've been talking about for some time. Nice area of support and resistance right on here, this 55. We did lose that and hit it to the next great level of support down over to around 45. You can see the beautiful bounce there 2 days ago. We were able to maintain a small uptrend for the most part right now. We are up slightly, not the best pre-market activity. When this stock is in play, man, the volume is amazing. We're not seeing that today on mRNA, but I will put it on here because they are slightly up this morning. And I do expect these guys to get the volume. All right, let's check in with Jared, see if he is with us. And if not, we'll go over to our top 5 on the gapping down list. Let's sort this here by the worst. And that's going to be ABIO down 25%. Well, that's a low flow stock, so can't wait to get into that one, see what's happening there. Jared, can you hear us okay? I'll take that as a yes or maybe or no. You pick. So according to Finvis, ADAP is a low flow stock. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, what do we have ADP? Really, we have it at 665 million in trade ideas. So that's a very big swing there. So 11 million to 665 is a very big swing there. All right, Jared, are you ready for the market pulse? No, if you're not, it's okay, man.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good, man. You're loud and clear.
All right, so I'm getting a little bit of like a delay in your audio, but I'll try and mute everything and just kind of go over the market pulse here. So looking at the overall SPY, we had a pretty significant gap into yesterday. A lot of trend on the SPY after a little bit of consolidation in the morning. And what looked to be pretty much an all-day runner situation ended up pulling back on us later in the afternoon. We had some news come out from, I believe, Trump dealing with some of the China situation, and that kind of spooked the overall markets. Switching over to the Qs, the Qs I found to be significantly stronger yesterday. While the SPY was trying to chop around in the morning, the Qs actually had a nice run all the way to test the prior highs. Once again, still pulling back into the afternoon, but was a great trend overall in the day, and tech was very strong yesterday. And let's go to IWM. definitely sort of a laggard on the overall index markets. It started off looking like it was going to be strong, similar to the SPY, but I think had more of a pullback in the afternoon and also just had a lot of trouble getting going in the day. So maybe more of a profit taking slash overextended market in IWM, and they were using that to fund tech. So.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, IWM, guys. Oh, I was not aware of this one. Neither was Andrew and some of the members. I mean, but this is a good one to watch. We've been paying some close attention to it. So, if you have not been watching this one, definitely keep this one on your radar. All right, guys. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Let's go over to what is gapping down this morning. I'm only going to do the top 5. We'll fly through the airlines. We'll fly through the cruise lines to see what's happening there, and then we can kind of see if we have anything else that has major news or catalyst behind this. But this is pretty much being slammed by the airlines and cruise lines, and some other ones we've seen in the past here, like STN and E, and some other ones on here. CGC here, very nice as well. So let's get into it. All right, so ABIO this morning, they are up, leading the way here, down 28%. Now this one was incredible yesterday, nice huge pop here, but this is a low flow stock sitting at 1.5 million shares for the flow. So again, very, very low flow, guys. Obviously around in the afternoon, something took this to some pretty nice height here towards the close. You can see here it's had a small pop compared to what it did yesterday in the afternoon, and then today they're kind of giving some back a bit. So worth watching. I think this could be the low flow of the day, guys. Very active right now, 373,000 shares traded. We'll keep an eye on that one. Next one is CGC. Cannot wait to see what's happening here. Whoa, this took a nice little dive here this morning, so definitely it's got some news out. Anybody aware what's going on with CGC? You can see here, nice drop overall, heading down to some levels of slightly under some levels of prior resistance right on here. It's just slightly under that 18, but this was in play today, guys. 2.2 million shares traded, down 19%. I wonder if that has hurt ACB and any other stocks that are sitting within this this sector. Let's look at CRN now. CRN took a dip here as well. So CGC and CRN both taking a nice dive this morning, but definitely CGC is taking the major hit here. All right, so earnings on CGC, so obviously somebody did not do well here. So so CGC worth watching, guys. In play for sure. Do we have shares for sure? We do not. I do not have shares for sure where I be. Let's look at CRN. Doesn't mean that we can still watch it. There can be some opportunities, and sometimes shares do come up available with IB, so we'll have to just figure out what happens here. And CRN, we do have shares for sure on CRN, so that might be the reason why I watch CRN over CGC. Again, you want to be able to take these trades both ways. One thing that happens too, guys, especially when you're starting out, if you are with a broker like CMEC or a broker that doesn't have great availability in shorts, you know, don't stress out over it. It does create the fear of missing out. So I know I talked to a lot of traders that when they don't have inventory for sure and somebody else does, you know, they feel like they're missing out on something. That's just part of the market overall. It's part of the trading game. So just focus on what you can short. Don't worry about it. And trust me, there'll be opportunities. There'll be plenty of opportunities for everyone to go around and be able to take stocks for short. So don't stress over it. AVEO here is not looking all that great. Pre-market action is pretty much all over the place. 500,000 units traded right now. Again, just I don't like the daily at the moment, so again I don't like the daily, I don't like the pre-market for the most part, so I'm gonna skip on that one. Lower flow also sitting at 13.5 this morning, so again I'm just gonna skip on to the next one here. STNE, this one was very, very active over the last couple of days. This one here had a huge pop all the way up to 34. I remember they were up nicely in double digits. Right now they're down pretty decent, 6.8, kind of heading back to this area of support, major resistance we had before. Look at this here. So definitely want to keep an eye on this one, sitting at 29, right in the middle of this gap up that we had. So again, I think this one will be good to watch this morning. They create some opportunities here on STNE. All right, so with that said, I'm not going to go through all of these guys, but let's look at the airlines and the cruise lines because we've been watching those pretty closely. and then kind of see what's going on there, because they're really taking over this list if you look at it now. So here is United. United is down 4.3. Again, all these stocks are doing excellent just 2 days ago. Things have changed a little bit, turned the tables a bit. A couple of hours into yesterday's close, we had some nice drops there on the SPY. And you can see on here, guys, major area of resistance obviously at 34. So we're down nice on United. I like United. Let's just take a look at all of them. I'm not going to write them down here. Let's go through all of them and see which one looks great. Safe for the most part. Pre-market action is a little bit all over the place. Also, again, if you look at their daily, these airlines all have the very similar daily activity. We just got to see which one's the best one for our liking. American Airlines also 1.1 million shares traded. Looking at Delta this morning, they are 481, a little bit lighter on the volume, but again, daily very similar. Pre-market action also a little bit better. Delta tends to have a nicer pre-market activity than some of these other airlines. For the most part, I think Delta. I'm going to keep Delta and United. United has been pretty good to me, so that's why I'm keeping that one. If American Airlines has been good to you, keep American Airlines. So you can pick between any of these airlines that you like, but these two have been great to watch, especially Delta. I usually don't watch Delta, but lately they've been pretty decent to take a look at. So here's ACB, also part of probably the CGC news. For the most part, their pre-market activity is really bad. Also, their daily. Look at their daily lately, right? We went from having this beautiful action here to just nothing but wicks, kind of pretty flat for the most part. They're hanging at this area of support right on here. I'm not sure if that CGC news is going to drag them down or not. All right, let's take a look at cruise lines. Oh wait, TLRY is also part of the cannabis group here. This one's got actually a better pre-market activity than ACB, so we got some movement here. Also, this one has been doing pretty well, holding on to this level of 974. Let's look at some cruise lines, guys. NCLH leading the way. This is the one we had yesterday, and this was obviously very fun to watch, guys. Just look at the action on yesterday here. Just want to go back, see how clean this was. You had a beautiful drop here. This was tough here. This was a very extended 5-minute opening range, and also sitting at this area for this level that we had. So it was tough to take a trade short here. And then this pullback was very aggressive. So this was not the best entry for short, unless you got in on a 1 minute, 2 minute opening range breakdown. But after that, guys, look at how beautiful this thing just rejects all these levels and just starts slowly just, losing the low of the day here that was set over here, losing all these moving averages, and just traded very clean, guys. A beautiful downtrend on this 9 moving average. I mean, this is perfect. This is why I always tell traders, if you're available for the most part of the day, that first hour or two, if it's not going well, just hold off, wait for the stock to settle in, wait for it to pick a direction. And once you see it starts losing some of these moving averages and these levels that you have here, right? Pre-market low and all these other levels that you're creating as the day is going based on the information you have now, you can see how beautiful that trades. So NCLH traded great yesterday. I'm going to keep it on here as well. Right now, 759,000 shares traded. Pre-market action for the most part, not as great as it was yesterday, but still worth taking a look at. Right now, look at the daily, how beautiful this drop was. And now we're kind of just deciding what's next here, slightly down this morning. CCL, also one that's been very active as well, also sold off. Could either one, guys. Both look very good. Actually, the volume is pretty much the same right now, 785 for CCL. I'm gonna keep NCLH. This one was pretty good yesterday, so I'll keep that one instead. And then the last one here, RCL. It's not doing anything all that exciting, and the volume is a lot much lighter than what we're used to seeing. All right, guys, so that is what we have on the gapping down list. Again, being taken over basically by the airlines, by the cruise lines, and the cannabis people. Not cannabis people, but cannabis stocks. And that's what we have. So what do you guys like this morning? And Jared, what do you like? If you could hear me, what are you watching this morning that you like?
I think I can hear you much better now.
Excellent.
But, I'm kind of looking through different sectors. Nothing's really standing out today.
Mm-hmm.
Our overall markets are about pretty much flat at the moment, only up about 0.5% or down 0.5%. And there's no sector that really stands out, more than a percentage from those numbers, except for real estate. So I'm trying to see if there's anything to do with that, or if it's just a low volume tick in the pre-market.
Gotcha. So yeah, someone mentioned here in the chat that they wouldn't trade anything but CGC today for any of the cannabis stocks, and I agree. CGC is the one that's really got some pretty good action on there. I have CRN here. They're doing a possible sympathy play here, but again, nothing like CGC. They're not looking great in it. So unless this gets better, The CGC is the one to go with. All right, guys, let's start with what's going on here in our chat. What do you guys like this morning? So CGC, yep, I have it. I know it sucks. IB doesn't have shorts, so we'll see if that. Hopefully that changes. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens there. So ADAP we do have on our list. This is right on here again. This is popping up pretty nice. Some good volume, 3.1 right now. So we have that on there. American Airlines is good. SAC, yep. Between this one, American, Delta, United, they all look great, guys. You could pick whatever one best fits your style, but they're all very active today. Got a decent pre-market action with some good volume. American Airlines looking pretty good. CGC is in play, of course. IWM we talked about. Yep, we could play on this one as well. What else we have? Steve is giving us SNOA this morning. This one, SNOA. What's going on with this one? Let's take a look. SNOA. Wow, nice big pop here, 154%. What's the float on this? Let's take a look at that. SNOA. What do we have here on SNOA? We're looking at 1.3, so it's a low flow stock, definitely in play today. Next to AT, what's the one that's low flow as well, that's big this morning? IVAO. Yeah, so these two could probably hang out together over here, because IVAO, I believe, is a low flow stock, also sitting at 1.5. So I'm going to throw it on here. They're definitely active for the low flow team, right on there. All right, so we have what else we got going on? BA. So Billy's giving us BA as well. So BA this morning, good action. Again, the airlines are active, so this one's going to be active as well. I'm not sure if there's any specific news to any of these companies for the most part. Just overall, drop in the market, I think, was just causing this movement here. These stocks, again, these travel companies get very, very effective with whatever the SPY does, right? If the SPY does well, they react one way. If they do bad, they obviously react the other way. And you can see here we got some action out of BA as well this morning. So again, worth watching, guys. I think it can be something that can do some magic this morning if it can get going. I think the SPY, you got to have an eye on the SPY as well. I think the SPY is going to determine a lot for the most part. Right now, they're pretty much flat, as Jared was mentioning. It's just kind of sitting, wrapping around the previous day close for the most part, up and down. So it's going to be interesting. What kind of morning we're going to have? Is it going to be choppy? Is it going to be, are we going to pick a direction here like we did the last couple of days, right? So let's see what happens there. All right, Twitter. Go ahead, Jared.
One thing that's interesting about today is that gold is relatively elevated. So looking at GDX and looking at the miners specifically, JNUG and Nugget as leveraged ETFs, those are actually pretty active this morning. Typically seen as more of a defensive play, and that's going to typically trend against the dollar, which I know is a little bit range bound right now, but starting to show some weakness.
Yeah, Nuggets is a good one. Out of all of them, this is one of my favorite ones to watch. And I started watching this when Brian used to have this on his list all the time. Like, why is he watching that? But he was able to call out some pretty good trades, swing trades on this as well. Also, guys, if you are not signed up to the swing trade alerts from Brian, they're completely free. Go to the website, sign up, scroll down to the bottom where it says swing trading, and you can sign up for the alerts, and they're really amazing. They're really amazing, the stuff that he's able to do there. Let's look at Twitter, possible continuation this morning. They have a decent pre-market action, not as much volume, but again, they've been having some news behind it, has been affecting the way they've been trading the last couple of days, so definitely worth watching. I think we can keep an eye on this one for a possible continuation. I do like their daily as well, and they can get some serious volume. Right now it's pretty light. 300 for Twitter is light, so we'll see what happens there. JP Morgan's another one. We'll take a look at that. See what we have here. JP Morgan, not as great as yesterday, but also barely hanging on to this support thread here on a 98, looks like. So yeah, I do like JP Morgan, guys, and we traded it a couple of days before. And Jared, I know you had this as well. I think you traded it also, and that was a nice trade on JP Morgan, so definitely worth watching.
Yeah, the financials have been relatively active, and we're kind of seeing more of a correlation with financials being strong and the SPY being strong, breaking out of the 290 kind of volatility range and making its way up to 305. So yesterday was a temporary signal that financials sold off, and the SPY really had a hard time getting off the ground. I think there's quite a bit of sector rotation going on now that we've gotten out of a volatility range, and they're putting capital to work in the sectors that they want to either balance out or or maintain for long term.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And WFC has been one of them too that has been, again, very, very active, creating some good opportunities. Let's look at what we have here. So Dell, no volume yet, but possibly could be starting a party soon. Yeah, they're up nice, 6% right now. Again, no volume at all. They had some action yesterday here, getting them up to that 6%. Looks like, but their daily looks amazing. They have a great daily chart, by the way, here. Breaking out of this area here so nicely. We kind of had some major resistance at 45. You can see the build up there and a beautiful breakout here, getting above this 200 moving average on Dell. So that is interesting there. As ZS, we do have on our list. This one all-time high, again, creating some pretty good pre-market action for the most part right now. Let's look at MRVL, and then we'll see what our YouTube friends have for us as well. So MRVL for the most part right now also good pre-market action, up 8.2. Again, this stock doesn't trade all that clean. I have seen some chop in this stock in the past. I'm not sure what the news is today and why they're gapping up this much, but for the most part, they're looking pretty decent right now for the most part. All right, guys, let's see what YouTube has for us this morning. JWM, let's see what's going on there. Sorry, N, excuse me. JWN, all right, here, Nordstrom. All right, so this one is down 2.6. Volume is very light this morning. The dailies, this retail stocks are a little bit tougher to trade. It's kind of like the Macy's of the world. Again, they're not as clean. Macy's actually has a pretty decent daily over the last couple of days, which has been just kind of a nice range here between 667 and 452. JWN for the most part. Excuse me, I keep saying it right, but typing it wrong. All right, so here it is. So this one, it's got an okay, decent daily, not as great as Macy's, but for the most part, the pre-market action just has no volume right now, so it's got to get going a little bit better. Let's look at 6. Ernesto's giving us 6 today. This one also very light on the volume, only 14,000 shares traded for the most part. This stock overall trades very light, around 4.4 million shares average, but right now this pre-market is not going to be, doesn't look as explosive as I would like to see it going into the open. But if you have some news, it's something that you like about this, definitely you can keep an eye on it for later on in the morning if it's not that explosive right out of the gates. Twitters, we have NIO. Let's see what's happening there. INO this morning. This one is wow, this is not looking all that pretty pre-market wise. I mean, this is very algo-like trading here. So not looking all that good. It's got to get going. INO is one that, easily cranks out, 30 million shares in any clip, anytime. 30 million shares is normal for this stock. So we're not seeing anything all that exciting right now. 400 doesn't mean much for this stock here. So that one's not looking great. Yeah, I think that's what they typed here. NIO. Yeah, if I say INO, no, that's what you type here. Series that says NIO. Yep. Now is INO active? Nope, that's not active neither. So neither one is looking good. All right, what else we have, guys? So WSM this morning. This one, Williams Sonoma. We traded this one in the past before. They're up nice, 9.4, but their volume is not there yet. But this is typical of this stock to have a very, very light volume. So for the most part, they're a nicey stock. And again, this is usually how they trade. Their volume is extremely light pre-market wise. But they do got a nice pop here. Looks like after hours, some good news came out here, creating some good opportunities for them. But for the most part, again, this is one that I'm going to have to wait for it to hit the scanners, or not even hit the scanners, put it on a secondary, because sometimes even with the scanners, they might not make enough volume to drive the scanners one way or the other. So but I like what you're seeing here, guys. Nice big pop. It does look like we have some good earnings here, creating some good possible opportunities this morning if they can get going one way or the other. But right now it's just looking very, very light on the volume. All right, guys, what else do we have? Let's do one more. SNOA we looked at, guys. So we did look. I see a lot of people throwing that one out, so I did look at that one. SNOA. And again, for the most part, did we have it down here? We put it down here. This is a low flow stock. Is very, very active. Almost 2 million shares traded right now, up 159. But again, this is what I'm going to put down here next to ABIO, which is also very active. Not as much as SNAO. This one might be the low flow of the day. But again, this is sitting at, I believe we looked at 1.3 million shares flow. So this is very low. I'm not going to be watching this one. Go ahead, Jared.
Have you taken a look at PHIO?
I was gonna look at that one next. Someone, Young T, had mentioned it, PHIO, but thank you for bringing it up. I see a lot of people throwing that out. Wow, what's going on here? What's the floor on this one? PHIO.
Probably pretty low.
Yeah, it's sitting at 4. Again, another one's just taking off. Another pharmaceutical biotech company. These companies, guys, they are very, very wild. You're gonna get these exciting moves. You got to be really careful, man. I mean, if you're starting off, you're a new trader. I will completely advise you to avoid them until you can build up to this, because again, they can just really hurt you big time. So just be very, very careful with these stocks. But definitely, we got some low flows that are very active today. We have a SNAO, we have HPHIO, as you mentioned, Jared. I mean, these things are blowing up pretty nice.
I, I think what tends to happen is you have a runner like ABIO, and it kind of wakes up the entire space of either biofarms or something specific in a low float arena. And from that point, any previous runners or individuals with news, they're going to run a little harder because of a prior 400% runner that we had the day before.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what, that does happen because everybody feels like, well, I missed that one. This is my opportunity. And, you know, it gets everybody ramped up, and we've seen that. We've seen usually when we usually call it the low flow weeks. Like they all wake up at the same time, and everybody's all motivated. Everybody's feeling pumped, and you know, and you have these runners. So big, we do have on our list. I thought we looked at this one. We at least looked at it. So we can keep it on here. This is big lots again. Doesn't trade a lot of volume. We'll keep it on here for now. We'll come back after announcement, see if that's looking any better. If it's not, we'll have to chop this one down. All right, guys, let's get over to announcement, and we will come back and do some support and resistance here.
Okay. So this week, on Wednesday, May 27th, we've got Nada practicing mindfulness and living in the moment.
Yeah, and actually we had that one we had that one on Wednesday, and I gotta tell you guys, she took 5 minutes, and she actually did a meditation with us, and if you were there, it was just amazing. I haven't done meditation in a very long time. So my mind kept drifting, but it was nice to be able to see that and kind of see her point of views on things. And that can not help you in trading, just overall as a person. I think it was pretty good. So if you missed it, the recording is up, so you can catch the recording. She was amazing. She was great. Hopefully we can have her again.
And looking into not next week, but the week after. Is that date correct? It should be 2 weeks.
Yes, yes, that is the week after, and next week it's not on here yet, but next week I'm doing a webinar about getting over a losing streak, so I got to add that on here. But that's going to be next week Wednesday at 8 p.m. Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna have Carlos's mug on this slide eventually, but the week after we have Trader Mind Fitness with Mark Randall. I find the synopsis on this one pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to the point of view here and how to keep yourself sort of mentally and physically prepared for trading. I find that kind of an interesting. You want everything to kind of be in the same alignment when you're going into trading, especially when it comes to your psychology. But other aspects of your life kind of lining up, it can make you trade in the zone and trade well day in and day out. And let's see. So this week, that one already passed. We had our Module 4 Mindfulness During Trading by Mike. And next week, we're looking at How to Cope with Anxiety with Dr. Jonathan Katz. It's very similar where you're trying to kind of stay in alignment as you're going day in and day out with day trading. All right, we got our market close on Wall Street, 3:30 to 4:15 Eastern with Mike, Peter, and Brian. Going to look at some trade reviews, analysis, swing, and earnings trades. Might also throw in a little bit of sector analysis coming into today's session. Interested in joining Bear Bull Traders? We have our try the chat room for 1 week for $24. The code is premarket24, and you get access to our onboarding class, so you can kind of get a taste of what the chat room is like and also get a little bit of content to get started. We've also got our 40% off lifetime membership with code podcast. Our Bear Bull Traders podcast, talk with traders, on multiple platforms. I actually have not had a chance to listen to this yet, but I'm looking to a long and fruitful weekend, and I'm gonna probably just have this on the background. I'm excited to see what y'all have come up with on this one. But could you say anything more about this one, Carlos? I'm actually a little unfamiliar with it.
Oh yeah, I love podcasts, man. I don't know what you got me started in this topic, but I am a huge fan of iTunes and their podcasts. So if I'm in the car driving somewhere, whatever the case may be, I throw it on. And so far, it has been great to see some of the stuff that Peter has done here. So good job for him for doing that. Again, his voice also is very, very pleasant to hear. So if you hear Peter in the close or during the chat, he has probably one of the best radio voices in the community that we know of. And again, it's amazing. You can just throw it on wherever you're doing, running, jogging, whatever. I used to listen to a lot of music, but instead you got to balance that out. And just kind of you got to feed the trader mind inside of you. Just kind of stay in tune with these things. So that's very important, guys. It's not all just about being in front of the screens and constantly just trading. You got to feed your stuff with other material as well. See what everybody else is doing, how you can learn from them too. I mean, that's one of the benefits of having a community. It's about learning from the experience of others. It's probably one of the major benefits you can have, right? And this podcast is amazing. So I'm looking forward to what else Peter has scheduled for that as well. I think that is the last slide. Thank you, Jared. I am going to head on over to this list that we have, which is quite extensive at the moment. So let's just kind of go through this. Let's fine tune this and see how we can make this a little bit better. ADP is very active, and this one is not a low flow stock, but Mike from YouTube, which we kind of met in the past, and a great guy there. He says Finviz shows it as a low flow stock. So somebody can do some confirmation there. I see it as a low flow stock, by the way. The way this is trading does not look like a 665 million shares flow. So there's another information we can tag this against. Let's take a look at it. Here we have a ZS. For the most part, they're also very active. I do like the pop. The consolidation over the last couple of days has been pretty aggressive here at 77.50, right? Between 77.50 and 73. So look at the aggressiveness here. It's just coming up and forth, back and forth. So again, I like that we are breaking out here. I like the pre-market action. I think definitely is worth keeping an eye on. RCUS. This one, I know it can be explosive, but this pre-market action is really not giving us much right now to go by. They're up barely 2% now. It's not a lot of action happening here. Even with this 253, it's not trading very clean. So I'm going to remove it for now because we have a very long list here, and I want to watch up to 6. If you like that one, you could definitely watch it or put it in the back burner, come back to it. mRNA is one that I'm definitely watching it. Even if I don't trade, this is a good entertainment ticker to have, right? So, but it has put in some good from some good opportunities that we have taken on this one, and we continue to have shares for sure, which is amazing. When this drop started happening, I thought we were not going to have shares for sure, but we continue to do that. So it's great to be able to play a stock that's moving like this both ways. Here is CGC, guys. Here's the one that's very active for today. I'm definitely watching it. Even if we don't have shares for sure, I think we can possibly get some opportunities. They're down 20% already, and later in the day, I would not be surprised if this thing wants to come back a bit. Worth watching. CRON again, drop here, sympathy drop based on CGC, but for the most part, they're not doing anything all that great. So I am going to remove them. We'll stick with CGC right now. But if we do hit, if CRON hits our scanners and starts getting active, we can come back to that. Here's STNE right now. They are so we'll do some levels. Might not make our final list. I like the fact that we're slightly above this area of resistance. We'll keep an eye on that. Here is Delta on the move. Very nice. I like Delta. 651. You can see the ramp building up here. Hopefully that continues to stay steady there with some good volume. We're losing the pre-market low, which was right in here around what we're looking at 24.60. We're just losing it right now by 4 cents. So that's creating some action there on Delta. Let's see what United is doing. United also taking a drop here, so we'll decide which one looks the best there. NCLH also following suit. Again, these stocks, these travel stocks, just move together in a bundle. When they decide to go down, it's like they all take the dive here. So BA also with the airlines dropping this morning. So out of Delta, United, and BA, I'm not probably gonna watch all three. Let's pick at least 2 out of those 3. Twitter is good. They got some news behind it. JP Morgan. I'm gonna remove JP Morgan for now. I'm just gonna get rid of that one. In big, as much as I like their pop this morning, this one could be going for later on when it settles in. If it's gonna go on a beautiful trend trade like it has been on the daily, this could be a nice one to look at as a possible. So I'm gonna move it down. They tend to have lighter volume. Today could be the difference maker for big lots. But I'm going to move it down here. Now, these possibles, guys, let's go through them. ACN, I'm going to remove. Not doing anything right now. DVAX, also going to remove. Horrible pre-market action. Still not getting any better. We do have big down here. Let's look at ALT. Also not doing anything great. We gave it a chance here. Nothing happening. Low flows of the day, ABIO, SNAO, and we have PHIO. Again, all these are low flows. And I even think ADAP might be a low flow. I'm going to move it down, because it's moving like a low flow. So either way, even if we keep this one, you want to be aware that this is not your regular stock that's moving nicely. It's moving very aggressive with some pretty tough ranges there. All right, we got a very fine-tuned list. I am going to now look at see what we're going to do with Delta and United. See which one I like better. I think Delta is the one today. Yeah, I'm going to go with Delta, guys. I'm going to remove United. I don't want to watch too many airline stocks. And then BA, I'm going to keep these two. I think BA could be very exciting. All right, guys, let's do some levels. So ZS this morning, they are up nicely. Again, some beautiful pre-market action here for this stock. We are sitting high of the pre-market at 91.30. Towards the bottom, we do have 86.93, low of the pre-market. A nice big gap down all the way to 75, but before that we do have an area that was prior resistance, now could be support at 79.81. I'm gonna go over to the left here, see if when was the last time we've been up around this area, and we see July August time frame. We do have some action happening here, and right in here, guys, 85, great level of resistance. Just look how clean that is right there. I got tons of resistance on this stock. Finally it's able to break out, comes right back to consolidate around this 85. Another area of major change in direction was at 89.46. Look how beautiful this pop comes up here. Heavy rejection, comes right back down to this 85 level. All right, I'm not sure if we're sitting, I think we're sitting at all-time high. Someone mentioned this. So this is probably the last area that we have. This was the previous all-time high here. We're breaking that this morning, which is also very exciting. Look at this stock over the last couple of months, man. Wow. Sitting at 35, guys, beautiful drop here. Was able to recover very nice and has not looked back ever since. And now they're up 19-20%. So this is very exciting. Pre-market is looking good. Let's hope that it continues to be explosive into the open. Here's mRNA. mRNA is still, even when 160, still not looking great pre-market wise. But I know this stock can be explosive. So this could be a good possible. Maybe we won't be able to keep this one on our main list today, given how great it has been trading over the last couple of days, and also with some good availability on short inventory. So towards the bottom, previous day close, highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered. This thing came down to this beautiful area of support, guys. I mean, just look at this nice area right here at a 45. Bounced off from that nicely 2 days ago, and now we're kind of in this range. We're slightly above the major area of support and resistance this thing has had. So I like the way it's sitting right now above the pre-market highs and yesterday's highs. You do have some days on here around 62.07. We'll mark that down, and then above that you got to mark this level because it's just so clean. It's basically staring at you. This 66.79. Just look how beautiful that is. Look at the area of resistance. We've been talking about this for some time when we had this incredible pop here. But guys, right now pre-market is still not getting more volume as I will like. So I'm going to bring it down here as a possible next to big and remove it from our main list, and we should have a nice fine-tuned list here. ZS, yeah, we do have ZS. That's the first one on our list, guys. So we did go through that one. That one's good. CGC, guys, very active right now, dropping some more. It is down 21%. As far as levels, highs and lows got you covered towards the top. You can mark the pre-market high all the way up at 23.90, but overall I think this thing is looking a little sour today. Let's head down towards the low of the day. I like this level right on here, slightly below the low of the pre-market right now, 16.79, because you can see several days right on there using that as support and resistance. We might get to that. Let's see if we lose that. If we are able to lose that towards the bottom, another great area of support and resistance. If you draw a line right on here, guys, you can see the area how heavy of resistance you have in here. You had a little bit of support consolidating right on it, and then the nice breakout once it was able to get above this 1568. So for the most part, you got some pretty good levels towards the bottom here, and you can see some more areas as well, even all the way down here. Some more areas of support and resistance happening here. Very clean. Changing direction at this 1298. Look at the change in direction there, here as well. And we see this so many times, right? Breaks through a level, comes up right back and retests and then goes on its way. So that's 1298 is a very nice level here this morning. Let's look at STNE. So for the most part, this has been very active. We had some really 2 good days on this stock. Right now, they're sitting slightly above a great area of resistance, which is this line right here at 29. Actually, we can mark down the low of the pre-market slightly under it, sitting at 28.55. Again, give or take a few points, it's okay. But right on here, actually, is a better, way better level. Look, you see the area of resistance that can now become support. Again, this thing gapped up huge 2 days ago. Let's see if it's going to hold that. Then towards the bottom, another great level of support resistance right on there, 26.60, and then all the way down here at 24.29. So you can see how clean that has been on this beautiful daily that this thing has here over the last couple of weeks. So pretty good right now. Pre-market action, it could be better. I'm not going to be too picky. They're down 6.2, 569,000. So we'll keep this one on here. Here is Delta. So for the most part, Delta, I like the way this is setting up. Let's remove. So actually, we don't have to remove levels because these are pretty good. 27.96. We had this level on here from yesterday. I'm sorry, 2 days ago, 30.50 and then 35.85. Now towards the bottom, right at the pre-market low is a great area. Slightly above that, it's below that, excuse me, you have a great support over some couple of days on here as well, even the last one being 3 days ago right on there. So if we lose that from that gap up, the next level we have is 23.66. And then down here all the way at 24 is a major level of support, guys. So look how much action you have around this area here. So I like Delta, guys, but United is also looking pretty good. So if you're watching United, if you're watching American Airlines, these all look amazing. So either one you can keep on your radar today. NCLH I'm watching opposed to CCL. But they're both really good. Cannot go wrong with either one. But NCLH has been pretty good and traded so well yesterday as well. I am going to mark down the low of the pre-market sitting at 15.30. Towards the bottom, we do have right here at 14 and then down to 13. Looks like almost every whole dollar has been significant for NCLH. Then towards the top, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close. Here is BA. Right now, BA's got some action as well. I like the daily on BA. Seems a little bit more cleaner than these other airlines and travel companies so far. The low of the pre-market right now sitting at 146.13. So we'll mark that down, see if we can retest that or lose that. And then for the most part, the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you pretty much covered. Now towards the bottom, guys, I do see an area right on here at 135. Just going to draw a line right on here so you can see how clean that is as well. 135 looking pretty nice as a support area. You can see how many times we have bounced off of that and found some support there. So BA is good, guys, and it has been trading very clean. So if these airlines decide to take a drop today, if you're going for a dive, this could be exciting. All right, look at Twitter, guys. Getting a little pop here on Twitter. Low of the pre-market sitting at 31.02, so we're going to mark that down. We have a nice change in direction the last couple of minutes here with some good volume coming in. It's sitting at 347 right now. Twitter, for the most part, highs and lows got you covered right now. Trying to get to that previous day close, sitting at 31.60. Towards the bottom, in case that previous day close gets some rejection and we lose that low of the pre-market, 30.46 is a good one. You have another one down here at 29.31 as well. You can see several days bouncing off these price levels. Again, some good area of resistance also, so you want to have that on there. All right, now we have big as a possible. We have mRNA as a possible. And let's look at some of these ADP, ABIO. Let's pick the best ones. I think ADP is nice. PHIO. Again, all of these guys are all sitting on that low flow pile. I'm not going to go through them. I think you want to be careful with these stocks. I mean, we have some pretty good stuff going on with the mid to large flow stock, especially during this market volatility. This stuff here can really hurt you big time if you're not an experienced trader in these low flow areas. So just be very, very careful. All right, guys. So I think that is for the most part what I like this morning. Jared, anything that you like, or what are you watching today?
So I am going to be focused mostly on the financial sector. I think that with the SPY being slightly weak and the fact that the financials are starting to get a little bit of a sell signal, I'm expecting them to kind of hold the market down in the first hour or so. One thing that I found interesting yesterday was even with the drastic sell off, the SPY came to a very particular level known as the expected move. And that is something that drives a lot of order flow within the option market. The fact that we came to that expected move and bounced into the afternoon close, and the fact that we're hovering around it right now and basically not going below 302, that to me is interesting because they're either going to kind of chop around here for a while and either fall back into the expected move, which is a sell off, or just bounce right off of it and try and make new highs today. The financials and tech will dictate that. So I'll be watching those two very closely. And to be honest, I'm actually going to watch PHIO a little bit. I think the order flow is pretty interesting. It's been trading very well. And there's still a little bit of the gap to fill up to 6.66, which is a ironic number to try and fill.
Very, very interesting number for sure. So, yeah, guys, again, these low flow stocks are very, very exciting. They're looking pretty decent right now. The volume is amazing, though, on a lot of these. Even ADAP, not as clean as PHIO. PHIO, I agree with you. This one has a very nice, clean order flow compared to everything else that we have on this list. All right, guys, let's go into what our moderators are watching this morning. Let's start over with, let's go over here and see who do we have. So where's my cursor? Here we go. Let's go to the top. All right, so we have Eamon. He's watching ADP, ZS, TRIL, secondary American Airlines, and also mRNA. I also have mRNA as a secondary as well. Thor is watching ZS, MRVL, and United. Peter on his list, he likes CGC, Big, ADP, but might not watch it for long. And on his secondary list, he has DXZ, Dell, CRM, and the ZS, and Costco, COS. Let's see what Costco is up to. This morning, got a few on here that we did not look. So Costco not doing much right now. And then Thor is adding Big. Yep, pretty good. I see all of us are almost watching ZS. I mean, this one is very interesting. Definitely like the way this is setting up today. All right, folks, that is what we have. Brian's, did I get Brian's list? I haven't seen Brian's list yet. No, Brian will probably post it in a few minutes. And then we'll get going from there. Guys, thank you so much for joining the pre-market show. It is Friday, so trade safe. Go into the weekend knowing that you did everything to make this week profitable and keep it profitable. So if you're green, don't be aggressive today. Sometimes there's people that actually, when they hit their goal, they stop trading for the week. I don't do that, but you have to be very disciplined to do that. But if you did hit your goal, maybe lessen your shares or don't take any aggressive trades, right? You shouldn't take any riskier trades than your normal risk, but do not take aggressive trades, right? Sometimes when you're in the move and you're in the groove and everything is clicking, you just want to punch through the wall and keep going, and that could hurt you today. So be very, very careful if you are going to take that approach. Guys, take care. Oh, we have Jared's list. Your list is WFC, ZS, and PHIO. Brian, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing good. I didn't get your watch list on the announcements. What are you watching this morning?
Yeah, I'm just putting it together right now. I'm looking at Big, STNE, ADAP probably. And I think I'm with Jared here. I'm going to keep an eye on this PHIO. I like Jared says, I like the order flow. Just be really careful with this one. If you're not used to trading these kinds of stocks, you might just watch it.
Yeah, be very careful. All right, guys on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We will continue here in the chat room. Brian is going to take us through the open. Let's give Jared a big thumbs up for his first pre-market show, for joining us this morning, covering for Norm. We appreciate it. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and we will see you at the close today at 3:30 for the close on Wall Street.
Yes. All right, everybody, trade safe today. Have a great one.